What's going on, family? It's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, Lucky Murray, back with another exclusive album review. And today we are simply doing an album that an artist, a Detroit native, Michigan artist, he goes by the name of Elohin. Elohin. And he hit your boy up and wanted him to do an album review. And I was like, yo, I do album reviews. You know, I definitely need a sponsor on this channel. He's like, yo, Lucky, I got you. And if you're an artist right now who are watching and listening and say, hey, look, I want you to review my album too, simply, all you go to CHHNOW.com, go to promote with CHHNOW. As you see our packages, you go get your package, fill out a package. Just look at the package, and go down to the link below and just fill out this form right here. This form would definitely help us with seeing if it's a need for us to actually work together, submit it, and we'll get back with you as soon as possible. But Elohin just released a new album, and the album is called Broken Narrative. And he's an independent artist out of Detroit, Michigan, and it's underneath CF Entertainment. So what I did was we're going to listen to the album, not in its entirety, but maybe 30 seconds or so, and I wrote some notes down for the album, and I want to kind of see if I recommend you listening to this album. So thank you so much for Elohin to sponsor this particular album review, and we're going to get into his album, man. Like I said before, I don't want to say too much. I want you to listen to as well, and if you got something to say about this album, here's what I need you to do. Go to the link in this, not this link in the description below, but you can find the album in the link in the description below, but also go to the comment section as well and let me know if you like the album, if you didn't like the album. These artists, they look at these comments. So if you're wanting to support, write down your thoughts in the comment section below. So this is Elohin, and this is called Broken Narrative. So we're going to listen to the first song, which is called Misconception. We're only going to do about 30 seconds of it, and we're going to keep going. So the first record is called Misconception.
Mama always told me if it ain't nice, say nothing at all. So I just keep quiet, not wanting no riot. I'm just human and I can't bite my tongue for only so long. And your misconception won't change my direction at all.
Rolling out the red carpet, get the welcome mat. On the stage, crowd screaming, welcome back. Waking up, asking where the welcome at. Keep a new stepping out my habitat. Last album, knocked them on their back. Got some good reviews, so I'm coming back. Never rush through it, running back. Trying to set the climate, thermostat. Made a promise to myself not to let this game disassemble me. All the pressures of perfection, it can really break you down mentally.
So like I said, guys, I'm only doing about 30 seconds to a minute of the record just to give you insight to how the record sounds. If you want to listen to the full album, the link will be in the description below. So here's my thoughts that I had of the album. The first track, like I said, is named Misconception. I like the first part of the record with the old-timey kind of phonographic sound with the effects they put on it. I like the concept of the song. Album has a concept through the whole track. So as you can tell with this album, and it's a conceptual album. A lot of times when people do albums, especially in CHH right now, it's not really a conceptual album. It's just a whole bunch of songs put together, which is more like a compilation. This has a story, has a theme, has a plot, and every single song drives it home. So this is the start of something greater. Let me see. The singer is good. She's a great singer, but probably would have had a different tone with the singer with the hook. The hook is good, but some of the parts, it was just kind of, I'm not saying it was hard to hear, but it didn't really come off, I think personally, or with the feeling that you wanted to do with the song. Like I know the first time I listened to the album, I listened to it on my headphones, and it seemed like that the singer was like peaking to where she was like clipping, and it was like, it sounded almost, not the singer, but the sound that made with the effects and also with the singing and how high and powerful she was singing, it almost made it seem like she was clipping. Let me play that part real quick. It's towards the end.
Misconception won't change
So with that part, that towards the end, I mean, she sounded amazing. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt like that peaking could turn some people off just a tad bit, but it still sound good. That was my only critique on this record. The end, yeah. So I said that note, but overall, this was a really, really good record, very solid record to say the least. Even with my critiques as far as the first part of the song, it still is a good record, especially if you're a hip hop head and you're wanting to listen to some true hip hop. So the second track is named Mama Told Me, and we're gonna listen to this record and see how it goes.
I need to talk to you. Yeah, I'm not playing with you. I need to talk to you. I'm trying to tell you something for your own good. Now, you know I would never do anything to hurt you, don't you? God gave us our own minds. If he wanted everybody to do the same thing, hey, then we will all be thinking the same way and looking alike. But he didn't do that, did he?
The calibration is changing by what I'm salivating. Check the allegations, my words calling my Alpha David. I'm contemplative with my brain waves, calculating like a calculator, doing calculus while conversating. Overcompensating for the lack of common thinking, so the best results lead the game with an ultimatum. No backing down for my convictions, cause I spit verbatim. As the spirit speaks, I translate, then regurgitate them.
So that record right there was Mama Told Me. And again, like I said before, if you want to listen to the full album, it's like, Lucky, I'm jamming to it. Why you stop? Because, hey, I'll be here for about 45 to 50 minutes listening to actual full record. This is probably like a 10 to 15-minute album review. So I want to kind of give you just a snippet of it. So here's my thoughts of the second record, Mama Told Me. I think that's his real mother on the intro. So, Elohin, if you know what I'm saying, comment in the comment section below if that's your mom, or that was a paid actor. I'm pretty sure that was your mom. But I like the intro with the mom giving advice, especially your real mom giving advice that she probably gave you throughout the life. I thought that was a great touch to kind of tie into what you were saying. Elohin can rap. That's one thing that you would notice when it comes to this particular album, that there's very few mess ups when it comes to his rapping. A lot of times with inexperienced rappers, their bars, their flows are, the delivery is not as crisp as it should be. They kind of leave in, elements of the record that kind of be cleaned up, like the ad libs not line up together, like them kind of speeding up with the bars or whatever. So he's very tight when it comes to his rap. So Elohin, I can notice that he rap. He switches up the flow a lot. He started off kind of with the triplet flow at the beginning, and he kind of slows it down, and so he keeping the listener on a pace that's like, oh man, like okay, like you nod your head but you're listening. And I said that the switch up the flows is very lyrical and straight to the point. And when I mean lyrical, I mean that he paints a vivid picture as far as lyricism. Now he may not be like a J. Cole or the Kendrick Lamar when it comes to actual like lyricism as far as like dope lines, but he do have some well-written words, crafty, pointed together that can make you really, really think. So that's one thing I loved about this album. That was a very visual album without having necessarily being a visual, like a video project. Like I said, I like the album has a message and a common theme, something that a lot of albums in CHH does not have anymore. I said it earlier, and I'm going to say it again. You know what I'm saying? The one thing that you will think about this record that you got to give Elohin credit for is the simple fact that he definitely wanted to follow the path less traveled. Because he could have been super trendy. He had Spec House. Spec House is a Stellar Award-winning producer. He produced for V Rose and a few other mainstream artists in CHH. But he could have went super mainstream with this record, but he took a lot of chances. And I think that shined very well when it came to this record. The end with his mama giving him encouragement with the verses that he rapped in the beginning, it kind of ties them together because he stayed on topic. And it's like this when you're rapping. A lot of times people write an essay. Let's say the essay is like, hey, how was your trip at the beach? A lot of people cannot stay on topic to how was your trip to the beach. They got to talk about them playing Fortnite. They got to talk about eating a sandwich. They got to talk about them digging up grass. It's like, no. Stick to the story of how was your trip at the beach. And this right here was no exception. He stayed on topic. He gave you some encouragement. It seemed like he's not only talking to me, but not me. He's talking to me, of course, but he's talking to himself as well. And so that's one thing I appreciate with this record. So the start is a solid start to the album. And if you're anything like me, you're ready to listen. So let's go to number 3. This track, Freedom.
Praying for freedom. Freedom for all my fam that don't know Christ. Mama, cousins, distant relatives. For all my people locked up. Yeah, I'm with you. Praying for you. Everybody got the answers for you when they ain't the ones that gotta deal with it. Swearing that they know what's best for you, but they ain't the ones that gotta live with it. This is real life, real pain, real issues. This is real hurt, real tears, but God with you. Losses turn to lessons, them crosses turn to blessings. Trying to survive in a dying world that's walking around so misdirected. I walk and keep in step with the Lord above.
So I want to kind of give y'all the snippet of the hook, so you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say the hook.
Freedom for me. I'm free. I'm free. I'm changed. I'm changed. I'm free. I'm free. No change. No change. I'm free. God that I made it. I know that He wanted me free. Telling you facts. I'm taking it deep. Freedom for you. Freedom for me. I'm free. I'm free. I'm changed. I'm changed. I'm free. I'm free. No change. No change. I'm free. Freedom for breaking the narrative that they wrote. Find me free. Freedom for living the narrative God has spoken. Find me free.
So I want to kind of give y'all the hook, because sometimes if you play the first part of the record, it'd be about 30 seconds before he gets into the actual record. So that was Freedom. Love the fact that this album is Christ-centered first and foremost. You got to shout that out. In CHH, in a climate where people are choosing artistic more than they are doing Christ-centric music, it is refreshing to know that this album right here would change lives. I was talking to a young lady that wants to join 44 Radio, and she was telling me how the Gospel Gangsters album, I can see clearly now, was her soundtrack to her ultimately becoming a Christian. God used a hip-hop CD in order to help her with her walk in her faith. And if God can do that for her, and you know she's a local person in South Carolina, a radio personality and a comedian, if she can have that testimony, and that right there allows her to have the love for Christian hip-hop, man, just imagine how if a lot of artists like Elohin decide to do the same thing as well. So I love that, man. With the beat selection, this has a low boom bap feel. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of his beats are not like bangers. They're more so like boom bap. They're more so like lo-fi. They're more so like different records. You know what I'm saying? That is not the trendy. And I'm going to say that a lot because I want you to understand that this is a different type of album. If you're looking for more trendiness, this is probably not the album for you. Probably my favorite hook on the album, as far as rapping wise. You know, he has a lot of singing hooking on this as well, but I think that I like this hook as well because it does hook you in. You know what I'm saying? I'm free, I'll change it. He kind of speeds up the rap at the end. It's probably one of my favorite raps in the end. He blends the verses with the common theme as of talking about I'm free. You know what I'm saying? Not super lyrical song, of course, but with the message and the delivery of the message. I hope I said it right. Let me say that one more time. Not super lyrical song, but with the delivery of the message, it sells the song. So I tell rappers all the time like this when I do Review Fridays, is the fact that, hey, look, you don't necessarily have to have the greatest lyrics ever, but if you can sell me on those lyrics, I'm more prom to rock with you versus the record not really being the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could sell me on it, hey, if you could sell me a $20 hamburger with just burger, ketchup, mustard, pickles, hey, that's on me because you sold it correctly. So let's do the next track. Is DYB, excuse me, and it is produced by Tone Jones. Tone Jones is one of my favorite producers out here. So DYB, let's get it.
I believe. La 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 la. Do you believe? La 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 la. I believe. La 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 la. Do you believe? La 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 la.
I started off with the dream of a star. I'm taking off, aiming straight for the top of the chart. I never pause, so my catalog should wake them like Adderall, but they ain't seeing the vision. It's blurry like analog. About to set it off on the stage, I get applause. Dropping heat, but it's coming in waves. Menopause, got the whole crowd involved. Ready to go the distance, deeper than the Pacific. My mission is real specific. Check the bio, fighting my demons, I'm pushing through it. Hope to be an influence, just rapping, I speak it fluent. My poetry is the truest, I use it as a conduit. Verbally executing on what my brain is computing.
So that record right there was DYP. It has a Kanye West college dropout feel from the beginning of the song, like da 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 da. That part right there, it sounds like nah 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 nah. Wait till I get my money right. Oh, like that the college dropout type feel of Kanye West. So it's, kind of throwback. It's vulnerable on the track. It's refreshing to start with. One thing about Elohin is the fact that his vulnerability, he puts it all out on this album, and he even says it on his album, EPK, is that this is probably his most vulnerable album ever, and it shows with the lyricism. He's not afraid to hold back and give the listeners all of him. So I'm pretty sure that when he completed his album, he felt 10 times lighter with this record. So Elohin is set to not follow trends, but to follow the path less traveled. I said it before and I said it again, because to do an album like this, it takes courage, because it is so tempting to want a playlist. It is so tempting to want to be on certain and major platforms that accept the type of music you play. When you take a step back and focus more on lyricism, focus more so on content, focus more so on a common theme, you may get overlooked. But man, the type of money that they put into this record, man, shows tremendously. So it's very inspiring. So let's go to the next record, track 5, Come Too Far.
Well, man, ain't no time for games. It's like this. Let's go.
Bright as the stars that shine.
You know when we come too far.
Dark as the sky.
Man, I done came such a long way. And rap about things that was so fake. The battle rapping in the hallways of my high school with a ball fade. Got my skills up, I was on stage with some sick bars and some wordplay. Had a buzz building up, it was no play. Just a boy in the hood like I'm O'Shea.
So yeah, that is Come Too Far. And one thing that I noticed too about this record is the fact that it has sample heavy tracks. It reminds you of hip hop such as J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar. The feeling of the music, for the most part, I'm not saying lyricism, I'm saying the feeling of the music is more sample based, more focused on lyricism, more focused on telling you a story versus something that kind of gets you a quick fix and quick fix and get out. That's one thing I love about the record. Every song has a purpose. I say that because when people sing you a record, it's like, oh my God, here we go. You're gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that. That kind of catchy record, but nothing sustainable. It has a lot of sustainability with this record. This is something that you can listen to more. You have to listen to more than once. But let me see what that's it. But this song right here, and all his other songs, is something that you have to listen to more than once. Okay. To get a feel for it. So this is not a one play thing. You have to listen to it over again to grasp the meaning behind this record. And it's something that a lot of people don't do nowadays. They do not make records that has replayability that you have to sit down and listen to it a lot more than one time. This is probably, in my case, one of the top 10 CHH albums of the year, in my opinion, as far as independent artists they're concerned. But you know what I'm saying? Like this is to me, this is probably a really good record. So let's listen to this next record called Sorry. Here we go.
My whole world has been shattered, I'm picking the pieces up. How did I miss the sign for all of these years and months? If we don't ever talk, then how do we keep in touch? Communication is broken and I ain't been keeping up. Many say that I'm wise, but obviously not enough. Cause any wise man would've saw this day come. And any wise man puts his woman at number one by making her feel secure and making her feel wanted. It probably was my pride and my arrogance, I was dumb. Now I'm suffering from this embarrassment, I was wrong.
Let me give y'all the hook real quick. Let me give y'all the hook to see what I'm talking about.
And I promise I'll let you down.
I let you, I'm sorry. I let you down.
I'll let you down.
Know better. Can you tell me how we make this
Gotta make
So, Elohin, that record right there, love this record right here. Probably my favorite record on the album. I said it on one of my notes. Said probably favorite album. Listened to the album a few times, and the single killed the hook. The single on the record killed the hook. Like I said, Elohin can paint a picture with his raps and place you in the frame like watching a movie through audio. And that's one thing, like if you sit down and close your eyes and listen to this record, like really listen to this record, you be like, man, it is almost like an audio book. You know what I'm saying? And I'm an audio learner. So, I listen to this record probably like 3 or 4 times on repeat, as I'm prepping to do the album review. And I'm like, man, his features, all his features make sense. You see what I'm saying? And the one thing I do like about it is that he did not have any artists, like rappers on there. It was just him by himself. That's a J. Cole move. That's a J. Cole move. Like, what artists in CHH do you know that puts the album out 100% them? They typically, every record has a feature on them. Elohin doesn't have any features on them, just a few singers. What else I said? The production with the concept is a win in my book. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? If I was rating this song as a 5 all day song, I do believe this song could cross over in many different genres. This is probably one of my favorite songs. No complaints on the record. No complaints whatsoever. Probably one of my favorite words ever. So let's go to track number 7, Words of Wisdom.
It's okay to feel the way you do. Swimming in the love that they give you, you drown. They would never love you like I do. In this ocean, your eyes.
Sit down for a second, I got something to tell you. Every day I wake up, I'm hoping I don't fail you. I'm not a perfect person, just wanna prepare you for the day when I'm gone and daddy's no longer near you. This world is so cold, we live in a broken system, but the best way to make it is learning to use wisdom. Just cause they say they love you, that don't mean that they with you, cause some same smiling faces can quietly be against you.
So I'm gonna cut it off right there. So the Words of Wisdom, love the sample. It's a heavy song because he's talking to his children, right? And I got 6 kids, man. So when somebody does a record that talks about his kids and is relatable to me, I think there don't even have to be somebody who has kids to be relatable. Let's say you grew up without a dad, you know what I'm saying? And you can relate to the pain that somebody has without growing up. So he's trying to do the right thing by his kids, man. Love that. You know what I'm saying? No empty space in the song. Love that he's talked to his kids. Like I said before, no empty space. He just kind of gets into the samples good. The biggest line that he said that I noticed, he said that he didn't meet his, like he was talking to his kids, that he's trying to be a dad that wasn't for him because he met his dad at the age of 28. I'm like, wow. Like at 28 when you first meet your dad, so you spend almost 30 years of your life not even knowing who your dad is or seeing him. That's crazy, man. So like I said, it's super vulnerable. Let's go to moving on, track 8.
Man, life is crazy, you feel me? It'll leave you broken into a million pieces, but you gotta learn to put it behind you. Some lonely days and some lonely nights. Thought she would be the one, but it was all a lie. Took my kindness for weakness and it left me hurt. She was cheating, so I had to sever all ties. If you've been hurt, then I know you can relate to this. Cause ain't no hurt like the hurt of a relationship. When you open up your heart and let somebody in, it'll leave you regretting that you ever met.
So I want to kind of play certain parts of that. First, I want to kind of play the hook a little bit.
I'ma stay with screams. What I gotta do, keeping my distance. All the fakes standing down with me. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Yeah, I'm moving on. Moving on.
So that part right there, then I want to play the Amber Ramsey part towards the end.
Mountains, I know I would never be alive without Jesus. His name is Jesus, Lord and Redeemer. I was blind, but now I can see clear to move on.
So I'm just playing a little snippet. So move on. Elohin, storytelling helps you get through the whole album. I think that if he wasn't a great deliverer as far as his content, if he was a great storyteller, this would be blah, blah, You know what I'm saying? But because he sells the story and because he paints such a great picture, this is an album that you have to have on repeat, man. And I'm not saying it because he sponsored this at all. If y'all know me, y'all know that I call a spade a spade. You see what I'm saying? And this is me digesting the album. You know, this is not a one. A lot of times when I do album releases, one take, one listen reviews. I don't take my time. But when somebody sponsors a post and they want me to listen to their record, it's like, look here, man, this was a very enjoyable. So I took notes and did everything else. So he tells the truth and makes his album. He is telling you his truth, okay? And he makes this album about his experiences, okay? So he's telling you his perspective and his truth on this album. And like I said before, this is simply amazing, man. Probably wouldn't use the auto-tune with the hook. It was hard to understand what the hook was saying. And that's my only critique with this part right here. Let me go back to it real quick. The hook part. So if y'all noticed that it was a little bit hard to understand. I know he probably getting a vibe and a feel, but I wish I could understand what he was saying with that, because you know what I'm saying. All I really was heard was moving on. I wish he was saying that because that would have drove that message home. That's my only critique. You know what I'm saying. But the Amber Ramsey, whoever she was, killed the second part of the hook. So like I said, it's a great record. That's just my only pet peeve with that. So track 9 is I'm Trying. So let's listen to that one.
Why did you have to go? Why did you leave my side? This pain that I have inside, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, yeah. You know I'm trying so hard to get through the pain. Yeah, I'm trying.
Let's get to the rapping part real quick. Let's go.
Plating heavy, not a convict, but a conflict in my conversations daily as I conquer my accomplice, causing monstrous behavior. I'm a monument that compliments a competent creator, full of confidence, accomplishments, and constantly in danger. Serious with my statement, not trying to play the victim, just sharing what's in my heart, and I'm hoping to keep it simple.
So I gave y'all the singing and the hook. Let me take that back. Elohin is a wordsmith. You know what I'm saying? I said that he's not super lyrical. What I mean is as far as like just the words, but he's a wordsmith as far as how he put words together and also how he does things, man. That's great. So this record right here, singing sounds great. I love the singing on it. It seems like the verses are slower pace, but the chorus, it seems like the verses are slower pace than the verse, or maybe vice versa. It's like the singing comes in and then maybe the verse is a little bit quicker pace than it is, but you know what I'm saying? It seems a little slower in tempo than the album, at least to me. It seemed like this record right here was a little bit more slower than the whole project. I think the whole project had a conclusive like feel to it, that this record kind of slowed it down. But it's probably because it's almost to its end. So I gotta understand the pacing of the record. The singing on point on the record. So I just had little critiques, but I thought it was a good record too. So let's listen to the title track, Broken Narratives.
Yeah. True story. Riding shotgun on 8 Mile, headed back to the east. Windows down, feeling the breeze, 4 deep in the Jeep. It's finally dark, so it gotta be 9:30 at least. I checked the clock, it's 10 o'clock. Yo, what we gon' need? Got stopped at a red light that we were trying to beat. Across the light, to our right, a couple of dudes had beef. Right in front of the strip club, they throwing hands, no peace. The red light that we was at switched over to green.
So I'm gonna give y'all the broken narrative of the record right here. It's a great summary for what the album was all about, right? Tells a great story at the end. Love the vivid story behind it. Most importantly, ends the album as it begins. Tell you to find your narrative in God. So, like I said before, man, if what do I rate the album? What do I rate the album? I think it's a 4.5 out of 5. I'm stuck between a 4.5 and a 5. I would just take a few points off the first record, and the first, and it's not like a bad points at all. This is a solid 4.55. I'm gonna stick with a 4.5. 4.5. For me, a 5 all day banger. For me, I wish it had a radio single. That's just I think that this was set off. It had like a radio single, that could really get this thing going. But that wasn't Elohin's going. But it's still a very great record. For 10 records, will I recommend this record? Absolutely. And I think that if you're a super hip hop head, I think you'll give it a 5 all day. You know what I'm saying? Because Tell a Story, it really shows you what hip hop is all about, and hip hop is still alive, especially in Christian hip hop. But if you like somebody like me that wants singles and wants, a little trendy music, I'm not saying super trendy music, but like a radio single that you can catch along, that you kind of sing or whatever. I mean, he had a few records that the I'm Free record probably wasn't a single, but it was very catchy, hook wise. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5, but I can definitely see you a 5 all day. I would definitely recommend this record. Just only preference for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this record. For real. I think, you know what? I think, you know what? Just now I'm just thinking about, let's do it. The production was solid. Really good production. Really good mixing and mastering. A really good storytelling. I give it a 5 all day banger. I think that it's a 4.55 all day, but I truly, in my heart, believe it's a 5 all day. It's a really, really good record. Definitely would recommend. I definitely will want you to go check it out, because Elohin's put in work, man. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you still been rocking with me, hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? Let me know, because this brother right here has been putting in work. Again, it's the entertainer, the motivator, the educator, and please don't forget all three. Lucky Murray back with another CHH Now exclusive album review, sponsored by Elohin and CF Entertainment. He just dropped this new record. It's called Broken Narratives, man. Please go check the record out and let me know what you think of the record. Let me know what you think of the record in the comment section below. But until next time, people.